The Neptune research station's warning klaxons shattered the usual quiet of deep space monitoring. Dr. Maya Rodriguez nearly spilled her coffee as she rushed to the main observation console, her eyes widening at the readings before her. The signal was unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. A complex pattern of quantum fluctuations emanating from just beyond Neptune's orbit. "Control, this is Neptune Station," she transmitted, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "We've detected an artificial signal. I repeat, we have confirmation of artificial origin." The response from Earth came 4 hours later, but by then, the entire scientific community was already ablaze with speculation. The signal wasn't just proof of alien life. It was proof that advanced civilizations had been watching Earth all along. Commander Sarah Chen stood at the viewport of the ESS Horizon, Earth's first true warship, watching as the final preparations were made in lunar orbit. The vessel represented humanity's greatest achievement, a fusion of conventional engineering and breakthrough quantum technology that had been reverse-engineered from studying the alien beacon's emissions. "Engineering reports all systems nominal," Commander Lieutenant James Walker announced from his station. "Quantum drive is stabilized and ready for testing." Sarah nodded, her expression unchanged, but her mind racing. The Horizon wasn't just a ship, it was humanity's insurance policy. After discovering the beacon, Earth's governments had united with unprecedented speed, pooling resources to create a vessel that could defend their world if first contact proved hostile. "Begin final systems check," she ordered, turning to face her bridge crew. Each member had been handpicked, representing the best Earth had to offer. "I want every subsystem tested twice. We don't get a second chance at this." The ship itself was a marvel of human ingenuity. Its sleek hull incorporated metamaterials that could absorb or deflect most forms of energy, while its quantum-enhanced sensors could detect disturbances in spacetime itself. The weapons systems were equally impressive. Particle beam arrays, graviton projectors, and antimatter torpedoes, technologies that had seemed like science fiction mere years ago. As the crew worked through their preparations, Sarah reviewed the mission briefing one final time. The beacon's message, once decoded, had revealed a disturbing truth. Earth sat at the intersection of several alien empires' expansion zones. Their world wasn't just being watched, it was being evaluated. "Commander," Walker called out, his voice tight with excitement. "We're receiving a transmission from Control. They've detected multiple objects decelerating at the edge of the solar system." Sarah's pulse quickened, but her voice remained calm. "Show me." The main display lit up with tactical data. 3 vessels, each larger than anything humanity had ever built, were approaching from different vectors. Their energy signatures matched nothing in their database, but their purpose was clear. They were warships. "Battle stations," Sarah ordered, watching as her crew snapped into action. "But maintain defensive posture only. We're not starting a war today." The Horizon's quantum drive hummed to life, its experimental systems allowing the ship to move in ways that defied conventional physics. Sarah had drilled her crew relentlessly for this moment, ensuring they could handle the disorienting effects of quantum navigation. "First contact protocols are in effect," she announced shipwide. "Remember your training. Whatever happens next will define humanity's place in the galaxy." The alien vessels continued their approach, their formation suggesting both caution and curiosity. Sarah couldn't help but wonder what they saw when they looked at the Horizon. A primitive attempt at spacefaring technology, or something that made them reconsider their assumptions about Earth. "Multiple scanning attempts detected," Walker reported. "Their sensors are trying to penetrate our hull." "Let them look," Sarah replied, a slight smile crossing her face. "But activate the quantum interference field. Show them we're not as primitive as they might think." The field engaged, creating a bubble of distorted spacetime around the Horizon. The alien scans would find only confusion, another gift from studying the beacon's technology. As the distance between the ships decreased, Sarah felt the weight of history pressing down on her shoulders. Humanity had dreamed of this moment for centuries, But no one had expected it to come like this. With Earth's first warship facing down 3 alien vessels of unknown capability or intention. "Open all frequencies," she commanded. "Let's introduce ourselves before anyone gets nervous." The communications officer complied, and Sarah took a deep breath before speaking. "This is Commander Sarah Chen of the Earthship Horizon. We acknowledge your presence and welcome peaceful contact. However, be advised that we are capable of defending ourselves if necessary." The response came in the form of simultaneous transmissions from all 3 vessels, a cascade of data that their systems struggled to process. As the computer worked to translate, Sarah studied the alien ships through the viewport. Their designs were organic, almost fluid, suggesting technologies far beyond human understanding. The translations finally appeared on her screen, and Sarah's eyes narrowed as she read. The messages weren't threats or greetings, they were warnings. Earth had developed faster than expected, pushed beyond projected technological boundaries. The beacon had been a test, and humanity's response had triggered something unforeseen in the aliens' careful plans. "They're powering up their drive systems," Walker announced, tension evident in his voice. Sarah straightened in her chair, her decision made. "Match their power signatures. Show them we can dance if we have to. Earth isn't some primitive world to be intimidated or controlled. It's time they understood that." The Horizon's systems surged with power, its quantum field intensifying until the ship seemed to shimmer in space. The alien vessels halted their approach, and Sarah allowed herself a small smile. First contact might not have gone as planned, but humanity had made its point. Earth was ready for the galaxy, whether the galaxy was ready for Earth or not. The tension aboard the ESS Horizon had reached a critical point. 3 weeks had passed since their initial encounter with the alien vessels, and the situation had only grown more complex. Commander Sarah Chen stood at her tactical station, watching as representatives from the Varen Collective materialized in the ship's conference room through their advanced transportation technology. The aliens were tall, their bodies covered in iridescent scales that shifted colors with their movements. Their ambassador, who called himself First Speaker Xal, towered over the human delegation. His 7-fingered hands moved in precise patterns as he spoke, his translator converting his harmonic language into English. "Your species has progressed beyond its anticipated development curve," Xal stated, his tone carrying what might have been concern. "The collective has maintained order in this sector for 50,000 years. We cannot allow uncontrolled advancement." Sarah kept her expression neutral, though her hand rested near the ship's emergency controls. "Earth's progress is our own," she replied. "We discovered your beacon, we decoded its messages, and we developed our technology through our own efforts." Xal's scales rippled with dark patterns. "You were meant to find the beacon, Commander, but you were meant to take centuries to understand it. Your rapid advancement represents a destabilizing factor in this sector." The implications were clear. The Varen Collective hadn't placed the beacon to make contact. They'd placed it to monitor and control Earth's development. The revelation sent murmurs through the human delegation. "We're not asking for permission to exist," Sarah stated firmly. "Earth is our home, and we'll develop as we see fit." The conference ended shortly after, with the Varen making what they called a generous offer. Earth could maintain its current level of technology, but would need to accept Varen oversight for any future developments. The alternative, though left unspoken, hung heavy in the air. Back on the bridge, Sarah reviewed the sensor data their quantum systems had gathered during the meeting. The Varen ships had been actively scanning the horizon, probably trying to assess its true capabilities. Multiple quantum signatures detected at the edge of the system. Lieutenant Walker reported suddenly, much larger than the diplomatic vessels. Sarah's tactical display lit up with new contacts. A Varen battle fleet, holding position just beyond Pluto's orbit. Their ships were massive, their energy readings off the charts. "They never intended to negotiate," Sarah muttered. "This was just to assess our defenses." The Horizon's quantum communications array crackled to life. First Speaker Xal's voice filled the bridge, but gone was the diplomatic tone. You have one planetary rotation to accept our terms, Commander. The collective maintains order. Those who disturb that order must be corrected. Sarah's response was immediate. All hands, battle stations, initiate emergency protocol Omega. The Horizon's systems surged to full power, its quantum drive spinning up to combat readiness. Sarah had trained her crew for this possibility, but facing down a fleet of advanced alien warships hadn't been in anyone's plans. Multiple weapons locks detected, Walker announced. They're powering up their main batteries. Sarah's mind raced through options. The Horizon was advanced, but it was still just one ship against a fleet. They needed something unexpected, something the Varen wouldn't anticipate from a primitive species. Plot a quantum jump, she ordered. But not away from them, right into the middle of their formation. Her crew looked at her with surprise, but they complied. The Horizon's quantum drive hummed louder, its experimental systems pushing the boundaries of physics. They're launching some kind of energy weapon, Walker reported, his voice tense. Execute jump now. The universe seemed to twist around them as the Horizon vanished from its position, reappearing instantly in the heart of the Varen fleet. The alien ships, their weapons still trained on the Horizon's previous location, were caught completely off guard. All weapons, fire at will. Sarah commanded. Target their drive systems and weapons arrays. Show them humanity isn't as predictable as they thought. The Horizon unleashed its arsenal. Particle beams sliced through Varen shields, antimatter torpedoes detonated against their hulls, and graviton projectors disrupted their formation. The alien fleet, designed for long-range engagement, struggled to respond to an enemy in their midst. 2 Varen ships disabled, Walker reported, excitement creeping into his voice. Their formation is breaking up. But the Varen weren't a spacefaring empire for nothing. Their ships began to adapt, their weapons recalibrating for close-range combat. Energy beams crisscrossed space, some finding their mark on the Horizon's quantum-enhanced shields. Shields at 60%, the engineering officer called out. We can't take much more of this. Sarah watched as the tactical display updated, showing the Varen ships moving to surround them. They needed another surprise, another demonstration of human ingenuity. Activate the quantum interference field at maximum power, she ordered. Then fire all remaining antimatter torpedoes, but set them to detonate in the field itself. Her weapons officer's eyes widened as he understood the plan. When the torpedoes detonated, their antimatter reaction would be amplified and distorted by the quantum field, creating a cascade effect that no conventional shields could handle. The plan worked better than anyone could have expected. The quantum-enhanced explosion rippled through space, overwhelming the Varen ship's defenses and forcing them to retreat. As the alien fleet withdrew, Sarah knew they had done more than win a battle. They had shattered the Varen's assumptions about humanity. Send a message to Earth, she commanded. Tell them first contact came with a price, but humanity proved itself ready to pay it. The Horizon hung in space, damaged but victorious, while its crew processed what they had achieved. They had faced one of the galaxy's dominant powers and shown them that humanity wouldn't be controlled or suppressed. But Sarah knew this was just the beginning. The Varen Collective wouldn't forget this defeat, and Earth would need to prepare for what came next. The galaxy had just become a much more complicated place, but humanity had proven it was ready to take its place among the stars. The ES Horizon drifted silently through the Oort cloud, its battle damage still visible despite weeks of repairs. Commander Sarah Chen studied the latest intelligence reports in her ready room, each one painting a clearer picture of the gathering storm. The Varen Collective had not taken their defeat lightly. They were mobilizing forces across multiple sectors. A soft chime announced an incoming transmission. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing a figure that made Sarah sit up straighter. The alien before her was unlike any she had encountered. Its form seemed to shift between solid and gaseous states, with patterns of bioluminescence pulsing beneath its translucent skin. Commander Chen, the being spoke, its voice resonating directly in her mind. I am Nexus Guide Elorian of the Meridian Assembly. We have been watching your conflict with great interest. Interest. Sarah maintained her composure, though her mind raced with questions. The Meridian Assembly was supposed to be a myth, a coalition of species that had supposedly escaped Varen control centuries ago. You took a great risk contacting us, Sarah replied. The Varen monitor all quantum communications in this sector. Elorian's form rippled with what might have been amusement. The Varen see what we wish them to see, Commander. Your recent victory has created an opportunity we cannot ignore. The Assembly proposes an alliance. The tactical implications were enormous. If the Meridian Assembly was real, and if they had truly developed ways to resist Varen technology, an alliance could change everything. But Sarah had learned to be cautious. Why now? She asked. Earth is hardly in a position to be a powerful ally. We have one advanced ship and limited understanding of quantum technology. You underestimate yourselves, Elorian responded. Your species possesses something rare in this galaxy, unpredictability. The Varen have ruled through perfect control for millennia. They cannot comprehend a species that defies their carefully calculated patterns. Before Sarah could respond, her tactical officer's voice came through the intercom. Commander, multiple Varen signatures detected approaching the solar system. Their fleet is larger than before. Sarah's decision crystallized. Nexus Guide Elorian. If your offer is genuine, now would be an excellent time to prove it. The response came not in words but in action. Space itself seemed to ripple as dozens of ships emerged from what appeared to be folds in reality. The Meridian vessels were beautiful and terrifying. Organic shapes that moved with impossible grace, their hulls gleaming with the same bioluminescence as Elorian. The Varen are not the only ones who have evolved, Commander, Elorian stated. We offer not just alliance, but knowledge. Your quantum technology is impressive, but crude. We can help you refine it. The Horizon's sensors registered the approaching Varen fleet, 15 capital ships supported by smaller vessels. Under normal circumstances, it would have been a death sentence. But with the Meridian ships present, the odds had shifted dramatically. Bridge, broadcast on all frequencies, Sarah commanded. Let's let the Varen know the game has changed. The Varen response was immediate and predictable. They launched a full assault. Energy weapons and quantum torpedoes filled space, but the Meridian ships moved like water, flowing around the attacks while the Horizon demonstrated its own enhanced maneuverability. Interesting, Elorian observed as the battle unfolded. You fight differently than we do. While we avoid, you engage. Perhaps there is much we can learn from each other. Sarah watched as her crew coordinated with the Meridian vessels, human tactical aggression, blending with alien defensive grace. The Varen, faced with this unexpected combination, began to show signs of confusion. Their perfectly ordered formations became ragged as they tried to adapt to an enemy that refused to behave according to their predictions. Their flagship is changing position, Sarah's tactical officer reported. They're attempting to establish a new attack pattern. Not today, Sarah responded. All ships, execute attack pattern Delta. Show them what happens when humanity and the Assembly work together. The battle that followed would be remembered as the moment everything changed. The Horizon's particle beams and antimatter weapons struck with devastating accuracy, while Meridian vessels created localized distortions in space-time that trapped Varen ships in temporal eddies. It was more than a victory. It was a demonstration of what was possible when different species combined their strengths. As the Varen fleet retreated, leaving behind the burning hulks of 3 capital ships, Sarah turned her attention back to Elorian. I believe we have much to discuss about this alliance. The Meridian leader's form pulsed with approval. Indeed, the Varen's greatest weakness is their belief that they understand everything. Today, we have shown them how wrong they are, but this is only the beginning. In the hours that followed, as the Horizon's crew began coordinating with their new allies, Sarah realized that humanity had crossed a threshold. They were no longer fighting just for Earth. They had become part of something larger, a resistance against an empire that sought to control all of space. "Send word to Earth," she ordered her communications officer. Tell them we found friends out here. And together, we're going to change the galaxy." The alliance was more than a military necessity. It was a fusion of different approaches to survival. Human ingenuity and determination combined with Meridian wisdom and advanced technology created something new, something that even the Varan's vast predictive models couldn't account for. As Sarah reviewed the preliminary technological exchanges with the Meridians, she couldn't help but smile. The Varan had intended to keep humanity contained and controlled. Instead, they had driven Earth right into the arms of their greatest enemies, creating exactly the kind of chaos they had sought to prevent. The combined fleet of human and Meridian vessels hung in the darkness of deep space, their positions carefully calculated to avoid detection. The ESS Horizon, now enhanced with Meridian technology, led the formation. Commander Sarah Chen stood on her bridge, reviewing the battle plans one final time. The intelligence provided by the Meridian Assembly had revealed the Varan's greatest vulnerability: their reliance on a vast network of quantum communication nodes. These nodes, scattered across their territory, allowed them to maintain their perfect control over countless star systems, but they had never been seriously threatened before. Until now. "Status report," Sarah commanded, her voice carrying the weight of the coming battle. "All ships report ready, Commander," Lieutenant Walker responded. "The Meridian vessels have synchronized their quantum fields with ours. We're reading optimal coherence across the fleet." The plan was audacious, perhaps even reckless, but it represented humanity's greatest contribution to the Alliance. While the Meridians had suggested a long-term war of attrition, Sarah had proposed something different, a decisive strike at the heart of Varan power. "Signal from Nexus Guide Elorian," her communications officer announced. "The assembly ships are in position." The holographic tactical display showed their target: the Varan's primary communication hub, a massive structure orbiting a neutron star. It was heavily defended, with 3 full battle fleets protecting it. But its destruction would shatter the Varan's control over their empire. "All ships, initiate quantum masking," Sarah ordered. This was new technology, developed through the collaboration between human and Meridian scientists. It allowed their ships to briefly exist out of phase with normal spacetime, becoming virtually undetectable. The fleet moved forward, sliding through space like ghosts. On the Horizon's bridge, Sarah felt the subtle vibration of the enhanced quantum drive. The ship had been transformed by Meridian technology, but its core remained human, a testament to the strength of Earth engineering. "Multiple Varan patrols ahead," Walker reported. "They're maintaining standard search patterns. No indication they've detected us." Sarah nodded. "Maintain course. Time to primary target. 17 minutes to optimal strike range." The plant relied on perfect timing. They would need to drop their quantum masking simultaneously, striking before the Varan could organize their defenses. One mistake, one ship decloaking too early, and they would lose their advantage. As they approached the hub, Sarah studied its structure through the enhanced sensors. The facility was a marvel of engineering, even by Varan standards. Its quantum processors coordinated the activities of thousands of ships and hundreds of worlds. And they were about to destroy it. "Varan fleet adjusting position," Walker announced suddenly. They're moving away from the hub." Sarah's eyes narrowed. "Show me." The tactical display updated, showing the Varan ships taking up new positions. It wasn't a random movement. They were forming a specific pattern, one that Sarah had seen before. "They know we're here," she realized. "All ships, drop quantum masking. Execute attack pattern Omega." The fleet materialized in normal space just as the Varan ships opened fire. Space itself seemed to warp as energy weapons and quantum torpedoes crisscrossed between the opposing forces. "They've adapted to our masking technology." Elorian's voice came through the comm. "The Varan are nothing if not quick learners." "Then we'll give them something new to learn," Sarah responded. All ships implement Protocol Zero. Protocol Zero was another human innovation, a coordinated attack that used the quantum fields of multiple ships to create localized areas of chaotic spacetime. The Varens' perfectly ordered formations became their weakness as space itself rebelled against their movements. The battle that followed was unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Meridian ships danced through the chaos, their organic technology adapting instantly to the changing conditions. The Horizon led the human vessels in precise attack runs, their enhanced weapons finding gaps in Varen defenses. Hub defenses are weakening, Walker reported. We're detecting fluctuations in their shield grid. Sarah watched as a Varen capital ship exploded, its quantum core overloading under the combined assault. Press the advantage. All ships, concentrate fire on Grid Section 7. The Varen responded with desperate fury, their ships launching waves of autonomous weapon platforms. But the combined fleet had trained for this, had prepared contingencies for every Varen tactic. Commander, her engineering officer called out, the hub's quantum field is destabilizing. If we hit it now, target all remaining weapons on the primary processors, Sarah commanded. Elorian, we need your ship's support. The Meridian vessels moved into position, their energy weapons synchronizing with the human ship's attack. The combined firepower struck the hub's weakened defenses, and for a moment, space itself seemed to hold its breath. Then the structure began to break apart, its quantum processors overloading in a cascade of brilliant explosions. The effect rippled through Varen space, disrupting their entire communication network. Multiple Varen ships losing power, Walker reported, his voice filled with disbelief. Their whole command structure is collapsing. Sarah watched as the mighty Varen fleet, cut off from their central control, fell into disarray. Some ships retreated, while others continued fighting with diminished effectiveness. The perfect order that had defined their empire for millennia had been shattered. Send word to all allied forces, she ordered. The chain is broken. The Varen's control over this sector is over. As the remaining Varen ships fled, Sarah turned to the tactical display showing the extent of their victory. They hadn't just won a battle, they had changed the fundamental power structure of the galaxy. The Varen will adapt. Elorian's voice carried a note of caution. They will rebuild, but they will never again believe in their own invincibility. Sarah nodded, watching as her crew coordinated rescue operations for damaged ships. That's the difference they never understood, she replied. True strength isn't about maintaining perfect control. It's about adapting, growing, and working together. The battle was over, but its implications were just beginning to unfold. Humanity had proven itself not just as fighters, but as innovators who could change the very nature of warfare. The galaxy would never be the same. 3 months after the Battle of the Hub, the ESS Horizon glided into Earth orbit. Its hull, once bearing the scars of countless battles, had been repaired with a combination of human and Meridian technology. Commander Sarah Chen stood at the viewport, watching her home planet shine below. So different now from when she had first departed. Earth had changed in her absence. The skyline of major cities now featured Meridian architectural elements, their organic curves blending with human engineering. Ships of various alien designs moved through the atmosphere, evidence of the new trade agreements that were reshaping human society. Incoming transmission from Earth Control, Lieutenant Walker announced. They're ready for the ceremony. Sarah nodded, straightening her uniform. The formal recognition of Earth as a full member of the Meridian Assembly was more than just a diplomatic event. It was a statement to the galaxy that humanity had earned its place among the stars. Status report on the Varen borders, she asked, maintaining her habit of staying informed. Quiet, Commander. Their fleet movements suggest they're focusing on internal reorganization. The loss of their central control network hit them harder than we expected. The defeat of the Varen Collective had sent shockwaves through galactic society. Without their perfect coordination, their empire had fragmented into competing factions. Some had sued for peace, while others had retreated to fortified worlds, clinging to their old ways. The Horizon's quantum communications array activated, displaying Nexus Guide Elorian's familiar form. "Commander Chen, are you prepared for today's proceedings?" "As ready as we'll ever be," Sarah replied, noting how comfortable she had become with alien interaction. "Though I must admit, I never expected to be helping rewrite the political structure of the galaxy." Elorian's form rippled with what she now recognized as satisfaction. "Your species has surprised all of us, Commander. Your approach to quantum technology alone has revolutionized our understanding. The integration of human innovation with Meridian experience has created possibilities we never imagined." It was true. The collaboration between human and Meridian scientists had produced remarkable advances. Earth's quantum drive designs, combined with Meridian organic technology, had created a new generation of ships that were already being produced in shipyards across the galaxy. "Message from the diplomatic corps," Walker interrupted. "The Varen delegation has arrived for the ceremony." Sarah raised an eyebrow. The presence of Varen representatives was unexpected but significant. After their defeat, most had expected them to isolate themselves completely. The ceremony itself was held in the newly constructed Galactic Assembly Hall in Geneva. Sarah stood on the stage alongside Earth's political leaders and Meridian representatives. The hall was filled with delegates from dozens of species, including several former Varen client states that had declared independence. First Speaker Gdal, now representing only a fraction of the former Varen collective, approached the podium. His scales, once bright with arrogance, now showed more subdued patterns. "The galaxy has changed," he announced, his translator conveying the complex harmonics of his speech. "The Varen collective sought to maintain order through control. We were wrong. Humanity has shown us that true stability comes from cooperation, from the sharing of ideas and strength." Sarah watched as treaties were signed, agreements were made, and a new galactic order began to take shape. Earth was no longer just another world to be controlled or guided. It was a full partner in shaping the future of spacefaring civilization. "Commander," Elorian spoke privately through their quantum link, "your crews have finished their training on the new ships. The Joint Exploration Fleet awaits your command." The Exploration Fleet represented the next phase of human Meridian cooperation. Ships crewed by both species, equipped with their combined technology, ready to push the boundaries of known space. "There are still threats out there," Sarah reminded them. "The outer regions of the galaxy remain unexplored. Some Varen factions continue to resist change." "Which is precisely why we need this partnership," Elorian responded. "The Varen's mistake was believing that perfect control meant perfect security. You humans showed us that adaptation, innovation, and cooperation are far more powerful." After the ceremony, Sarah returned to the Horizon's bridge. The ship, once Earth's sole defender, was now the flagship of a combined fleet. Its crew included both humans and Meridians, working together with an efficiency that would have seemed impossible just months ago. "Orders, Commander?" Walker asked as she took her seat. Sarah smiled, looking at the stars that no longer seemed like distant, unreachable points of light. "Set course for the outer regions. It's time we showed the galaxy what humanity and the Meridian Assembly can accomplish together." The Horizon's quantum drive engaged, its human Meridian hybrid technology creating a perfect synthesis of power and control. As the ship accelerated into quantum space, Sarah reflected on how far they had come. Earth had not just survived first contact, it had thrived, turning potential extinction into an opportunity for growth and partnership. The galaxy was entering a new age, one shaped by the combination of human determination and Meridian wisdom. And somewhere out there, new challenges and discoveries awaited. But this time, humanity wouldn't face them alone. As the Earth shrank behind them, Sarah gave the order to begin their new mission. The stars beckoned, full of possibility, and humanity was ready to answer their call.